El referee para este juego es Caleb Hector.
You've got it! You've got it! Yeah, boys, come on! Yes, boys!
Martin and Beckham explained that force is most optimized when shoulders are set at 40% of body height to lower the center of gravity, with feet parallel to widen the base of support, and knee and hip joint angles are around 90 to 120 degrees, so that the hinge at the hips will load kinetic potential energy that will be transferred into the ground, opposing my force and propelling me forward due to inertia. This allows me to effectively scrum because Martin and Beckham also state that minimum 10% difference in pack force is needed, as the increased impulse will drive the opposing scrum backwards for momentum.
Just standing in the first receiver spot.
The successful turnover of the ball from kickoff, as well as my contribution as hooker in the scrum, translated to us going forward with offensive momentum, which is a principle of playing rugby, allowing us to put pressure on the defense, which we continued by passing the ball out to support on the wing. However, we did not keep possession of our line break and instead lost possession of the ball due to a knock-on. In the future, my teammates could improve their performance to reduce the amount of knock-ons by maintaining their offload to ground contact discipline ratio by not forcing a pass every time they are under pressure. This can be enhanced through supporting players rucking over to give the ball carrier confidence that the ball is secured if they go down into contact. The scrum is a tactical skill that demonstrates all three of Newton's laws of forces. This scrum demonstrates how the Bermuda's larger forward pack were able to push against us. This is because they applied a greater force due to an increased difference in mass between our scrum and their scrum. This is because mass is a variable used to calculate force and is also proportional to force, assuming acceleration remains constant. However, since a scrum is an example of an inelastic collision, the acceleration of our scrum will decrease upon contact as the kinetic energy will be absorbed, whereas the acceleration of Bermuda's scrum will increase as they will have more forward momentum, pushing us backwards, which increases Bermuda's acceleration, therefore resulting in greater force being applied per Newton seconds. However, due to my effective role as a hooker by kicking the ball backwards as soon as the ball was put in, we were able to gather the ball before we lost it to Bermuda. Therefore, this led to us gaining forward momentum, which we applied through pressure and support by passing the ball out to the open players. This led us to get closer to Bermuda's try line, which we then later converted into a try, putting us up by 17-0.
One goal by the try scorer in the first half. Just short is a number 8 there, Brooks.
In this scrum against Trinidad, we were able to maintain forward momentum, pushing Trinidad's scrum backwards. This is due to Newton's first law of motion, which is defined as when a body will remain at rest or continue in uniform motion unless acted upon by external force. Even though there's an external force present in the force of Trinidad's scrum, the net resultant force is not zero due to the force applied by Trinidad not being equal to or greater than our scrum's force. Therefore, this leads to the net resultant force being applied to the west, as our impulse through increased acceleration caused by the initial momentum allowed us to exceed the momentum of Trinidad's scrum, allowing us to push them back, which is reinforced by a strengthened conditioning coach for the rugby union, Coach Ward J, in 2025. This drop kick performed by our fly half is an example of projectile motion.
Solid scrum by
Due to the angle of release from the ball being dropped and then kicked from below the fly half's hips, backspin was applied. This caused the spinning ball to create unequal airflow, which generated a lifting force, which is explained by Bernoulli's principle. Backspin is defined as a spinning ball creates unequal airflow by rotating backwards. This is explained via the Magnus effect. This is due to the spinning ball creating a boundary layer of air during the backspin, causing one side of the ball to make contact with the passing air, resulting in deceleration of the air, which increased the air pressure, whilst the opposite side of the ball will have a lower air pressure, therefore high velocity air, which in turn leads to the ball moving from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. This causes the ball to follow a non-parabolic flight path. In addition, using Bernoulli's principle, the force generated during the spin was lift. This is due to low pressure, high velocity air going over the ball, whilst high pressure and low velocity air was flowing under the ball. Lift was generated due to the angle of attack from the kicker, who pointed the ball at an optimal 45-degree angle to cause the ball to move forward. However, due to the speed of release causing the force of the ball to be too great, the ball went out of bounds as there was too much displacement caused by the increased velocity, which led to increased lift, therefore leading to Trinidad regaining possession in the form of a scrum.
The wind just took that and it had.
During my cognitive stage of learning for my first year as a hooker, I used majority of my elbows and arms to generate velocity and power. I had not yet repeated the technique of applying spin on the ball, as the neural pathways for the proper lineout technique had not yet been repeated enough to keep the motor program skill of a lineout throw in my long-term memory. I had also developed learned helplessness due to my repeated failure to perform a lineout throw when I was given the task to do so. This induced the frustration-aggression hypothesis, as my goal of winning the lineout was consistently blocked by external stable factors, as I perceived the lineout as being too hard, linking to Wiener's attribution theory. I also experienced social inhibition through the evaluation apprehension theory, as I was worried what the spectators would think of my skill level every time I failed the lineout. I improved my lineout throw by readjusting my lineout technique to keep my elbows tucked in and hinging at the hips to generate power, whilst using hand placement to improve the laminar flow of the ball in the air. Through strengthening my motor programs of lineout technique, I was able to acquire the skill of the lineout technique more consistently through overlearning and refining my technique through terminal feedback and knowledge of performance from my coach during my training sessions. This allowed the lineout to become more innate, as I had stored the motor programs required for the lineout technique in my long-term memory, as opposed to my short-term memory, back when I was in the cognitive stage. When the lineout became more innate through practice and repetition, I was able to process multiple stimuli, which made a response time more quickly. In addition, as I was a more efficient hooker, my coach drew up a lineout switch play which reduced the amount of choices and reduced the decision-making load that I had to account for it, as he catered the switch play around my offensive capabilities so that the switch to my teammate will be less predictable, as the defenders would assume I would take the ball into contact. I then immediately rack over my teammate so that we can maintain possession of the ball without Bermuda trying to jackal it.
And just switching the order of the play as Charlton Jones whips it.
During this play, I had experienced social facilitation as I heard my players cheering for me. This helped to boost my arousal, which improved my motivation and drive to maintain my performance throughout the tournament.
Again, great work by Kim.
Nathaniel, get in there for the push! Nathaniel!
Cayman Islands takes it down. We see Dyer to the back. He's going to initiate the push as he breaks from the short. Says Dyer going untouched over the line. And it's Dyer going over. Javon Dyer scores for Cayman Islands to put them.
This lineout throw is an example of me achieving laminar flow through the utilization of proper technique to use the velocity of the ball in order to reach the displacement needed to get to my jumpers. This is an improvement from my cognitive stage of lineout technique because I utilized my elbows and arms in order to generate power, which did not get me the distance needed to reach the jumpers further in the back. In addition, my successful lineout throw gave my team an opportunity to score a try, which would have not occurred if I had failed the lineout throw. Due to my lacking ability to perform a short ball lineout, we were unable to exploit possible try opportunities during matches.
Unaware, but it did not go 5.
This clip indicates that my improvement in lineout ability has allowed us to perform the trick short ball plays that I was unable to previously do. After the short ball play was completed, I immediately got onto the field so that I could be a part of the play. I then received the ball and offloaded it back to my teammate in quick succession so that we can continue going forward towards the try line. I also ensured to follow my pass so that I can rack over my teammate in order to protect the ball. This is an example of my tackle technique being compromised due to fatigue, as we had played an earlier game against the United States of America's under-19 national team before this. This is also stated by Gabbert 2008, who stated that fatigue from improper recovery can compromise tackle technique of athletes. I then utilized my failure as a learning curve so that I could improve my performance instead of accepting failure. I reviewed visual footage of my poor performance tackle and assessed how I could have improved. I then used visualization to create a mental image of how my tackle should look against the same player that I had failed to tackle properly. The effectiveness of me reviewing footage after our first game against Mexico was evident because I was able to complete multiple successful tackles in our second game against them.
It's a slow one coming out. Mexico looks like got two stacked up pods. Yet taking that one down.
Bananas Barnett is trying to steal it out of his hands into the hands of Kamani Wait, and he dances his way through, taken down just short of the 10-meter mark. Deep line by TNT, just giving back the possession that they just gained, and over the top is Cayman trying to pinch this on the counter-ruck. Trying to be good event.
It's not 3-pointers at this stage. Looking for 5. Looking to go through their phases, find a chink in the armor. Long-ranging pass.
40.
By me rushing up to tackle the offensive player, I was able to force a pass backwards, which led to the team to lose yards. This was beneficial for my team because this meant we were applying pressure on the opposite team, which inhibited their offensive potential, as they could not run their plays they wanted to run.
That'll be Rojas Ruiz making some good yards. The ball carrier goes out the back, and that long pass out to the wing. It rarely works out, but somehow he manages to reel it in. Vizcaino.
Yes! Get him in touch! Get off the line! Third man! Shut down! Bang bang, double hit! Yes, line. Emmanuel, you come in. Gotta get up! Emmanuel, come. Emmanuel, come up. Where's the wing? Who's got the wing? Who's got the wing? Come back!
Winger, so they've probably moved someone from the back line into the pack. Mexico come away with that one clean. The fullback scything through the middle, and a good clean out. Richie on top of it there to protect his man. Parrott a little bit indecisive on that one. Bichel, the big second row forward for Mexico. Parrott decides to go on his own. Rare, a nice little offload to his 8-man. Corona Garcia getting pulled down and losing the ball in the process. A nice little kick from the hooker come 8-man come. What's he doing now? Fly half? Love that. Handy player, Javan Diet. He's got a good skill set on him. Naturally looks like a hooker, but they've put him at 8-man, and then he's chipping ahead for... Put themselves in a great position there.
Una ejecución de robo de balón muy bien hecha por parte de Islas Caimán. Y aunque ahora la pelota pasa a ser de México, hemos visto que Islas Caimán tiene la capacidad de robar las pelotas en los lineouts que no son de ellos, así que este es un momento peligroso para México.
Got powerful lifters there, the jumpers get up quick as they go again. He gets his hand on it, but Mexico come away with it this time. And again, double tackle there right at the 6 or 7 yards. Tried to keep him off the ground. Going deep for Parrott to release it. Takes his time getting that one away. Doesn't make too many yards, around about the 20. Bit of recovery time, getting the bodies right. A little bit later on today after this game, 2 p.m. local time in Querétaro, will be USA-Jamaica for the final for first and second place. But right now, Cayman and Mexico getting into it, and a big push again from Cayman comes out nice and clean for them. They're attacking through the center. Ball squirts out a little bit premature. Good height on the kick again for Cayman. Charlton Jones, he's handy. Massive pressure from Cayman, getting Mexico all the way back to the 22. Javan Diet getting up a little gingerly there, the number 2 for Cayman. He's going through the wars, that's for sure. That ball's high from Mexico. There is Diet again to protect it. Very tactical kicking game this one is turning into. And another kick. They recognize that there's a bit of a weakness back there, but this time taken very well. But this time a loose ball thrown. Cleaning things up, and there's a chip over. Nice little step, little dance around from Mexico. All of a sudden look like they've got the energy and the desire to win this game.
México nos está mostrando mucha más agresividad que durante el...
Great yards, working well with Zach Brooks, the 8-man for Cayman. Good combination there, making a good 30-odd yards. A delay on the attack there. Doubted himself for a moment. The hooker steps in for a pick and go, looking for some support. The ruck's cleaned over. There's counter rucks coming in from Mexico. They want a battle. There's the big man, Lawrence. Antoine Lawrence from the Cayman Islands, using his sizable frame.
Oh, he just couldn't get that one away. He needed to. But he pushed off it. Another try.
Pass. It's gone to the selects. Full size Neil. He's got him, but he's got a release. He's down on the ground. Selects still. Oh, they put it through.
How are you? How are you? That's not out. Oh! Off the shoulder.
Technically horrendous.
Oh, it cleaned up though. Oh, that's a miracle ball
Offloads to the
away.
hair.
The
Hair
hair.
spins, dances.
Oh,
Offloads to more hair.
they've done well. You guys are just jealous. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The illegal was as well.
Mate,
He came in so far from the side.
Yeah.
Defensive line looking to break, and they're up. Ben 10. Back goes Javan. Javan fields safely. Got men on him.
He's completely isolated. What's he going to do? He's got
Puts
Seb.
it on.
He's
Seb.
gone around Seb. Seb's going to drive him out though. Did not give up his defense. Well done, Seb Bureau.
Javan had to cut inside there. A bit of coaching from his teammates would be appreciated. Carl shifts back. Carl's up. Bring it down, son.
That's much better. Oh, we've got a canine.
The first dog's off.
straight
Conrad.
down.
Oh, the big show.
The show, the go.